What religion's got to do with mental health? You might think on the face of it they're two quite different things. Religion belongs to the spiritual realm and mental health is to do with perhaps medication or perhaps to do with doctors or lifestyle and so on. One way in which we might think religion is to do with mental health is religion might make mental health better or might make mental health worse. People from religious traditions might be more prone to mental illness or less prone to mental illness or more likely to recover or less likely to recover quickly. And there's a big literature on exactly those questions. So surveys looking at people's religiosity, where religiosity is in terms of beliefs, in terms of practices, and whether they are more likely to recover from, say, depression or more likely to get OCD. And generally the story seems to be that religion is pretty good for mental health, but there are big exceptions to that. Now, I'm interested in a slightly different question, which is how religious people from different traditions interpret what we call mental illness, so experiences of, say, depression and so on, and indeed mental health, and how those interpretations make a difference to their experiences of it. Also, the kinds of treatments they're likely to undertake, the kinds of help that they're likely to seek, and so on. So, for example, even just within the Christian tradition, there's a huge range of different interpretations of say, depression. So some people talk about depression as a result of sin, as a result of a sinful lifestyle, or even as a result of demonic possession. Almost at the other end of the spectrum, you get people who see at least some forms of depression as a sign of holiness or closeness to God, so a kind of dark night of the soul, if you like. Mother Teresa's depression is often interpreted in that way. And then another interpretation which I'm interested in is the idea that depression has naturalistic causes, whether social or biological or whatever, but is potentially transformative, so could result in greater compassion, greater insight. And people from the Christian tradition will talk about it then in terms of divine grace, so it's a bad and negative thing in and of itself, but God is bringing something good out of it. How people make sense of depression is going to determine whether they go to a doctor, whether they go to a minister, whether they'll take antidepressants, whether they'll be exorcised by a healer, and so on. And churches are often first ports of call for people experiencing, say, depression. And so what they're told about their experience is likely to have a big impact on the overall shape of it and their prognosis, the trajectory of the illness.